There's this story. This is a story of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. So they're off to look for the Holy Grail, which is the container of the redeeming substance. So it's value itself. It's the ultimate value. Well, they don't know where to go look for the Holy. It's the cup that held Christ's blood from the cross, or maybe the cup that he drank at the Last Supper.
Yeah, it was in Indiana Jones, too.
Yeah, that's right, of course. And the Holy Grail is a very, very old idea, and it stands for the ultimate value. Where do you go to look for the ultimate value? Well, the answer in the story of King Arthur and the Holy Grail is all the knights are around a round table because they're all equal. They all decide to go off and look for the round table. So they all go look at the forest, and each knight looks and sees where the forest looks darkest to him, and that's where he starts. It's like, yes, that's wisdom. And I learned that also from Carl Jung. He derived a dictum from alchemy. Instir quel invenitur, which means that which you most need to find will be found where you least want to look. Right. But what's so interesting, and this, I didn't expect this, is that if you peer into the darkest dark, you find the brightest light. And I never expected that, but that's what happened. I thought, oh, this is horrible, horrible even beyond what I could comprehend. And, but the light that can overcome that exists. The light that can overcome that exists. It's actually real. And I think the instinct that we have that manifests itself within us as meaning, which is what you feel, for example, when you listen to music that you really love. You feel that sense of intrinsic meaning. That meaning is a guide to the light. I mean metaphorically. Right. I mean religiously, but I also mean biologically. Right. I mean in reality. That sense of meaning is the guide to the light that overcomes the darkness. And the darkness is dark. It's really dark. But that means the light has to be that much brighter, and it is. I really believe that.
I love that. And yeah, and just since you've gone there, it's like it's so real, man. It just seems so real when you say it for some reason, because you've done the work. You've seen, you've tried to start at that darkest spot, and then to still say that.
That's the thing.
Because if that's not the story, though, then there is no story. It's like that has to be the story, that we go, that it ends in positive, that it goes upward. Otherwise, there's nothing. If that's not the story.
Yeah, well, that's a very good way of looking at it. I think that's
so.
The case.
Who would ever choose nothing? It's just such a pointless. There's no.
That's Mephistopheles. It's Satan's dictum that things are so terrible that it would be better if there was nothing at all.
Yeah, there's
a whole line of German literature, speculative literature that was laid out by a man named Goethe, who wrote a play called Faust, about a man who sold his soul to the devil for knowledge. And Mephistopheles features in Faust. He's the tempter. He's Satan himself. And his credo is, life is so terrible it would be better if it was replaced by nothing. It's an apocalyptic desire.
I'd hate that, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, well, that's the thing.
There are times when I didn't know if I would, but now if I think, and even the first thing that comes to mind, like my little niece, I saw her this weekend, and she would smile. Yeah. She had a cup full of potato chips, and she was just laying on a dog's back that she just met this dog and putting him in his mouth. And I'm like,
better that exists.
Oh, better that exists.
Yes, there you go. That's it.
If a million people had lost it, whatever's happened in the past, there's this one moment right now that makes... and I don't even know if she she's only 2 or something, so we don't even know each other really. But there's just one little moment that makes it all worth it.
Well, so, in the last chapter of my book, it's called Pet a Cat When You Encounter One on the Street, and it's about the experiences my family had when my daughter was unbelievably ill and suffering like mad. How do you justify that? And part of that is, well, some of the advice in that chapter is practical, but some of it is, you notice those things. You notice those little glimmerings of beauty. You notice those little glimmerings of that sort of transcendent reality, and that's what keeps you going. And you saw that with your niece, and you can see those things if you keep your eyes open, right?
Yep.
And you better, because they keep you alive.
And what makes me what then I notice, if I'm able to do this then afterwards, is tell another person about it, even if it's like a man and it seems like it's kind of like a weird thing to tell a dude. Like it shows some vulnerability for me. Yeah. Then
it also shows some ability to pay attention and see them too, man. So that's
it makes it gives it even more value. For some reason, like whatever I can do, if I can be vulnerable after it somehow in some way.
Well, it's not just that you're vulnerable; it's that you accept the vulnerability and you transcend it at the same time, which is also what comedians do all the time. Because a comedian always says, "Ha ha ha! look at how we do this, aren't we stupid, useless? But we can see that and we can rise above it. And everybody goes, yeah, we are that stupid and useless, but we could rise above it. And then the next joke comes on. And, that's why the jester in the king's court was so valuable, is he was the only person who could tell the king the truth. Right? And the king couldn't get mad because
that was his thing.
It was the jester was beneath contempt. You could let him say anything he wants. That's why two comedians are a good bellwether in a free society. If the comedians don't get, wherever a comedian can't go, that's a tyranny. Where can't they go? University campuses.
Right. University campuses.
Right. The comedians say, I won't go there. It's like, oh, why is that?
Something's
because
wrong
the
there.
king is so tyrannical, he'll kill the jester. It's like, that's a tyrant.